Howdy, folks. I have been dreading this episode. I knew it was coming. It's a good example of how anxiety can just take control of your life, as it did for me one day. So, way back in 8 March 2019, back when I was getting pretty good at vague booking, I posted this on my personal page. Blood clot in left calf. Yes, I will see a doc today. Would appreciate your prayers and vibes. Happy Friday. And then after the events of the day, which we'll talk about here in a second, I posted update. All is well. Thank you for prayers. Ended up in ER for chest pain. Tests show no clot or heart attack markers. X-rays good. Thankful for miracles, even ones without a bright aura to point at. And then, by way of explanation, I commented below that post. I fell asleep in my chair last night for 6 hours with my legs out and down instead of propped up. There was deaf circulation restriction. Could feel things surge when I pulled my legs up. That's my best guess. Symptoms didn't present at ER, so that's frustrating in a way. We'll follow on with my doc next week. Actually pretty darn embarrassed to be in the ER for an anxiety attack. This was in response to a question about how at my age I had a blood clot problem. So yeah, let's talk about all the craziness of anxiety attacks. So I actually did fall asleep in my chair. It was actually this chair right here one night years ago when I was still coping with alcohol and stuff. Just passed out and woke up at like 4 in the morning or something. This chair has a lip in the front of it, and it's got some old cushions on it, so my legs were down instead of normally propped up, and it cut circulation off kind of back across the hamstrings there. And when I woke up and scooted forward in the chair like this and restored circulation, there was definitely, like I said in there, a surge through my legs. I kind of worried about it, like it felt odd, and but it didn't right away present any problems. What happened was, like, I put my blankets away and stuff and laid down for another hour till my alarm went off. And then I got up to get ready for work, do my bathroom routine, make breakfast. And I'm in the kitchen and I get this tremendous, really specific pain, like in one tiny spot about the size of a dime in my calf in the back. And I'm just in agony, like I'm yelling for my wife from the kitchen to come, help do something. And I'm on my knees, and she comes in and asks what's going on. And I said, I didn't know, but I got this pain. Can you feel it? Is it a muscle spasm or what's going on? And she's kneading on my muscle there on the floor, and she can't feel any muscle spasm. She can't see anything moving, no Charlie horse stuff. So after a couple of minutes of her kneading on that, working on it, and me tears running down my face, trying not to wake the kids up, it goes away. And so we press on with the morning, getting the kids up, getting them off to school, getting us off to work, kind of wondering what is it. And the best we can come up with is blood clot as an explanation. So that scares me. I worry about that, or worried about it at the time. So I posted that on Facebook because I'm a religious guy asking for prayers and help. Went to work, was, relating my incident to coworkers, see what they thought, just talking about your ailments as old people do. And I started to get what I recognize now as an anxiety attack, but at the time I wasn't sure, and I'd actually been diagnosed a few years before with supraventricular tachycardia. So I had some chewing pain in my chest, and having had maybe a blood clot that morning, couldn't get in to see my doc right away. I was like, heart problems, heart pain, chest pain, so I said fine, and my boss was like, yeah, just go to the ER, go see what they say. So I went over, and it's really embarrassing to remember and to recount, but I was in full-fledged panic attack. Obviously, looking back, recognized by everybody I ran into at the ER, all the nurses, the doc. I mean, he's offering to give me some medication to help ease the pain and the stress. And, the nurses are, and they were young, and I'm not saying anything against their professionalism, but they're drawing blood and I'm flipping out. And I think when I don't know, it was just kind of a mess. Um, and so I calmed down and, I had had anxiety before, and I was trying to figure out what it was, but I hadn't had it like this or this bad. So I actually, from the ER, called my doctor's office. Finally called me back, and I talked to him about what was going on and where I was at, and they said, well, we can't get you in now, but we'll get you in the next day. So I went and saw my doc, and he's kind of an old grumpy cuss, and he wasn't real impressed with, me going to the ER for anxiety. But the situation I was in then was everyone else knew it was anxiety, but I had no idea. And no one had ever really explained to me what a heart attack feels like. And he sat me down, and, I'm kind of protesting, like, look, I'm just doing the best I know how. And he goes, okay, look, here's the thing. And I told him about my supraventricular tachycardia. And we talk about stress and that kind of stuff. And he said, when you have a heart attack, it's going to feel like a real elephant sitting on your chest. Not like, a comic book elephant, or you think this is the worst one you've ever had. You're going to have pressure on you like, a big truck tire rolled on you, or a pickup is parked on your chest. Like, legitimately, that's what it's going to feel like. And you're not going to be able to function beyond that. It's not going to be you sitting there like, oh, this is what's happening to me. These are my symptoms. You're going to be paralyzed to the point where you can't hardly survive. You're not going to have any other higher functions. I'm trying to recall this from memory, but I hope this is coming across. That's what he explained to me. And so, was it a heart attack? No, absolutely not. That was anxiety. That was a panic attack. That was the worst one I have ever had. But that was also the moment of education with my family doc the next day, getting a real grasp on what's my left and right boundary for heart attacks. And the rest of this, okay, so I have to redefine all this as anxiety, and I got to learn how to live with it. Was it a blood clot? Probably. Don't really know. There's no markers in my blood, so, in my medical record and for all the medical professionals, it's not. It wasn't. It was just a Charlie horse. But for me, looking at my calf and my wife looking at my calf and not having any muscle spasm or cramp or hard spot, and then the possibility is high that it was a blood clot, let's say that, because my circulation was cut off for about 6 hours. A miracle? Yeah. I mean, it's honestly a nice miracle to have all the support poured out from my friends and family when I was open about my fear and what was going on, to have that buddy check thing happen in my life, to really finally have it explained to me what a panic attack is, what an anxiety attack is, versus what a real heart attack will feel like if and when it finally happens. And just to have that experience in my skill set, to know, to be able to redefine my experience and not have everything be so catastrophic, to kind of bring it down a notch, if that makes sense. I worry that I'm rambling in this video. I know that I don't have, like when I'm paraphrasing the conversation between my doctor and I'm not really able to remember much other than kind of the gist of what we talked about, but I hope what I've said makes sense, the disparity between anxiety and what a heart attack might be. That was a huge one for me, just understanding my mental health. And I'm trying, when I'm making this video, I'm trying to be very confident and straightforward and professional about it to kind of hide how embarrassing it was. But gosh dang it, folks. I was mortified. And I still, when I think about this episode happening, I still get mortified. I still get embarrassed thinking about it. It's not a bad thing. It's not like I beat myself down, but one of the big things with anxiety, and PTSD is an anxiety-driven disease. They're definitely related. The embarrassment. The embarrassment can eat away at our self-worth, I think. So the point of this video is to share an anxiety experience that was really poignant, that was a turning point in my understanding of mental health. Let y'all know that you're not alone. You've all had experiences like this, similar or the same. It helps me to share this. It makes it less embarrassing, more meaningful to share it with you all. So now, what are your experiences with anxiety? Were there any turning points or key moments in your understanding of your anxiety? Put that stuff down in the comments, folks. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep talking. Remember, hope is a choice.